Hi everyone! I'm already starting to work on Christmas music with my chorister singers, so I can't put it off any longer. I have to make my Christmas video. I don't feel at all Christmassy. As you can see, it's a beautiful day here in New South Wales. I couldn't be feeling less Christmassy, but we are going to do the very beautiful Adeste Fideles, and we're going to do a verse in Latin and a verse in English. I love the hymn, the carol, anyway. I think it's a great tune, but also I really love it when you discover that a song that you've known for years and have sung for years has got a really tangled history. So I will have to refer to my notes here because there's so much information and background to this amazing piece of music. So we think, generally it's considered that a gentleman called John F. Wade wrote Adeste Fideles, or O Come All Ye Faithful as we all now know it, round about 1743, and he published it for the very first time in 1751. So all fine so far. However, it's possible John F. Wade was actually a music copyist, so he had access to all sorts of tunes and things that he came across, and had this beautiful calligraphy handwriting, and often signed the work that he presented with his own signature, not because he was claiming it as his own, but the finished copy was claimed as his own because of the beauty of the copying. So there are various possibilities for who the composer of the tune might be, and some suggest that it goes way back to the Cistercian monks. Other composers might even be a gentleman called John Reading, but more famously Handel, Arne, or even Gluck could possibly have composed this amazing Christmas carol. Another suggestion is that King John IV of Portugal in the early 1600s might have composed it, and it is known as the Portuguese hymn, not because of King John of Portugal, actually because of the Duke of Leeds, who heard it in 1795 in the Portuguese chapel at the Portuguese embassy. So who actually wrote it, we don't really know, but John F. Wade is probably the most likely contender. It originally had 4 verses, all in Latin. We do know that they were translated by a gentleman called Fred Oakley in the 1800s, and it just became this absolute banger piece of music that everybody knew. So there was a Reverend Robert Menzies in Edinburgh in the 1800s, and he said that every apprentice boy on the street was whistling this tune, and even the blackbirds joined in with the chorus. We're just going to do 2 verses. The first verse in the original Latin, and then the second verse we'll sing the O Come All Ye Faithful, which is a direct translation from that Latin first verse. So the first thing just to remind yourself of is your Latin vowel sounds: A, E, O, U. Keep them all nice and pure. And I'll just say the text for you so that you can hear those Latin vowels. So, Adeste Fideles, Laeti triumphantes, venite, venite in Bethlehem, natum videte, regem angelorum, venite adoremus, venite adoremus, venite adoremus Dominum. So here we go. You've got a nice vowel onset to start with, so try and make it a nice smooth one, not glottal. Adeste Fideles, breath. Laeti triumphantes, breath. So with all of those endings before you take the breath, you could maybe take out a quaver so that you've got time to take a breath, and you don't feel that you have to snatch at the breaths there. So let's just put that little bit together. You've got heaps of time to breathe at the beginning. Adeste Fideles, leti triumphantes. Breath. Venite, venite in Bethlehem. And I would take your breath in the middle of the venites there. Venite, breath, and then go through. Venite in Bethlehem. And the m should come on beat 4 when you get to it. And that's a direct translation. Venite, venite is O come to Bethlehem, in Bethlehem. So that's why you would venite in Bethlehem, that last one, run it all together. Then we have flies getting in on the act here. Natum videte. So natum videte. Keep your vowels nice and open. Pitch the n of natum right on that first note. Natum videte. Breath. Regem angelorum. Now, this is a hugely contested point. A lot of more modern versions of this carol have introduced a passing note in the middle of Angelorum. So you would have to have lived under a rock not to have heard people sing Lorum. But it has been a recent addition, and I personally loathe it. So I always teach people the correct way, which is without the passing note. And if you look at John Wade's original published version, the passing note isn't there. So it has been something that's been added since publication, original publication. And it's just a bit naff, really, to do the passing note. So please don't do the passing note. Let's start a revolution, a no passing note revolution in Angelorum. I've changed key, but that's the idea. So if we go back to natum, natum videte, breath, regem angelorum, breath. Then start quietly. Venite adoremus, breath. Venite adoremus, breath. Venite adoremus. If you needed a breath. So that's all of the Latin version. It's not terribly complicated once you've worked out the vowels. The only odd one is leti in the third complete bar, L-A-E, and they usually appear in old Latin versions with the A and the E back to back, like conjoined. And that's just pronounced leti. Triumphantes, and everything else I think is fairly straightforward in the pronunciation. Bethlehem is another one that is slightly different from the anglicized Bethlehem that we use these days. So with no further ado, we'll get on to the English version, which I'm sure you'll all know, but there might still be some surprises. So here we go. Oh, come all ye faithful, breath, joyful and triumphant, breath. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. And the same breath pattern as with the Latin, because it's the direct translation from the Latin. Then pitch your cut of come on the note. Come and behold him born, the King of angels. Now, another really interesting tangled bit of history here. I hadn't noticed this. I've been singing this for donkey's years. And I've always sung, come and behold him, breath, born the King of angels. But when I started looking at the Latin and the actual translation from the Latin, that's not what is actually intended. So the Latin is come and behold him born, the King of Angels, which means something slightly different. So that's how I'm going to be doing it from now on. So in all the editions that I know, the comma comes after behold him before born, and I am starting a revolution to change that now as well. It should be come and behold him born, breath, the King of Angels. So that's how we're going to do it today. One more time. Come and behold him born, the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Breath. Oh, come, let us adore him. Breath. Oh, come, let us adore him. Breath, I think you'll need it. Christ the Lord. So there are some funny things that are just really specific to English there. Christ the. It's really hard to get that tangle of consonants all one after the other beautifully, but you can do it with a little bit of practice. And one thing that I didn't say on the adore him. Keep your vowel the same as you jump up that interval, and the same when it's mus in the Latin. So keep your vowel the same when you're moving on one vowel on multiple notes. And that really is everything I wanted to say. There is yet further tangled history with this this carol, because it scholars also think it might have concealed a whole heap of coded messaging about the Jacobite uprising as well. So yeah, do your digging, find out the history, because it really is quite fascinating. So for practice and performance, I would say, if you're like me, you'll have sung this a million times and not really thought a huge amount about what the words actually are and what they mean and how the sentence structure works. Digging into the history got me thinking about the Latin and thinking about it a little bit more. So I think always try and tell the story as though it's being told for the first time, like you are delivering this incredible piece of news. And I think we all have to try and preserve the magic and the wonder of Christmas, because it's become such a commercial enterprise. This one is often saved for the very last anthem in the in midnight mass. So it's always been kind of held as this moment to wait for. So try and infuse the meaning of the text with that thought when you're singing it, this is the first time, this incredible story that you're telling. I am going to sing the Latin verse first and then the English verse straight afterwards. So here we are now for the sing-along. Thank you to everyone who regularly likes, to subscribers. You all know that I'm really happy to have my tutorials shared amongst your friends. So please carry on doing that. I really appreciate all of you for doing that. And we are growing as a channel, which means that the singing tips, videos and messages getting out to more and more people. We also have a lovely little group of members who have chosen to join as members. And by doing that, you're able to get a little bit of extra personalized help. The financial contributions that you make to be a member have bought us some new microphones. So with the joys of modern technology. We're going to hit the sing-along now, and hopefully I'm about to sound like I am in St. Paul's Cathedral. Adeste Fideles, leti triumphantes, venite, venite in Bethlehem. Natum videte, regem angelorum, venite adoremus, venite adoremus, venite adoremus, Dominum. O come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. O come ye, O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him born, the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord. So I very nearly managed to switch between English and Latin and finish the English verse off with the Latin text. So whatever language you're singing in, try and remember to stick with the same language. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to check out my other videos. See you next time.